As distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, pranam, namaskar. Especially a special namaskar to all the people of Kolkata for their continued love and affection and for their renowned welcome passion. Thank you. This passion is unmatched anywhere in the world. So I want to say again to you, Onek Dhanyavad. Thank you, Amitabh, for your persistence in inviting me to this prestigious Kolkata International Film Festival, yet again. And my wishes and greetings to you and the film fraternity on the Silver Jubilee celebration of KIF. For Jay and me, coming to this wonderful city has always been like the proverbial homecoming. Kolkata gave me my first ever job in the corporate world and gave Jay her first film career beginning when she worked in Manikda's memorable Mahanagar. A film that, in retrospect, has been applauded for its feminist theme. An aspect which, along with other sentiments, has truly reflected the secular spirit of India: inclusiveness, plurality, and equality. Every time I get invited by Mamtadi, I am reminded of a Bengali nursery rhyme that I have adapted to suit my need today. So instead of one's maternal uncle's residence, I have replaced it with a sister's welcoming home. Tai tai tai, Didir bari jai, Didir bari bhari moja, ki chor nai. During my past visits to KIF, we have spoken about the somewhat unknown creative contributions to cinema from Bengal. But I feel today there is a need to speak of two other most essential aspects: the role of cinema in the ever-growing digital space and the memorable contribution of several early women forerunners in the areas of production, direction, music composition, playback singing, and, believe it or not, even complicated stunts. As audience tastes rapidly move towards fresh digital content and online streaming, it would be most worthy to reflect on the core fact that films were primarily made for entertainment, drawing large audiences to the big screen. So, what does the future hold? With the allure of cinema, watched in movie halls, soon to be nostalgic memory triggered by the smell of butter and the popcorn, will big studios gobble each other up? Will smaller movies struggle to survive and big brand titles tank at the box office? Digital platforms like Netflix and Amazon are revolutionizing the way people watch films, and several other streaming services are now available in India. So what happens next? Can classics like Gone with the Wind or Mughal-e-Azam be watched on the small screen with the same excitement that had originally made them blockbusters? Can the magic of Satyajit Ray's trilogy or his classic Jalasa be captured with the same amount of sensitivity on a small laptop or on a mobile phone? What of David Leave's Lawrence of Arabia? Can its magnificent panorama, outstandingly shot, be confined to limited digital space? And what of the women? Films, ladies and gentlemen, have a global history that has evolved over decades, and women have contributed significantly both in front of the screen and behind it. Yet, in our country, their entry in the initial days was heavily condemned. Raja Harish Chand, India's first full-length feature film, which released in 1913, placed several challenges before its director, the legendary Dada Saab Phalke. The biggest being the search for a female lead. Of course, no so-called respectable women or woman agreed to work in what was then considered to be a dubious profession, an infra dig. Eventually, of course, you have to make do with a male actor. So as a result, most incongruously, India's first heroine was not a woman, but a man in drag. However, today when we talk of Indian film heroines, instantly several iconic images of silver screen goddesses come to mind. But here's a fact that not many may be aware of. The tradition of women working as much in front of the camera as behind the scenes goes way back to the silent era. Fatima Begum was the first woman to break the male barrier and establish herself as a top-notch actor, writer, producer, and a director. In 1926, she started her own production company. Her production house was called Fatma Films, which was later renamed Victoria Fatma Films, and in a sense paving the way for other women to make their mark. Then there was Gohar, not to be confused with Gohar Jan of Calcutta, the high-flying courtesan with Armenian origins. This Gohar Qayyum Mamajiwala was a major star of the silent era, popularly known as Glorious Gohar. She started her career at the age of 16, and then with Jagdish Pasta, Chandulal Shah, Raja Sando, and cameraman Pandurang Nayak started the Sri Sound Studios. Later in 1929, along with Chandulal Shah, she went on to establish Ranjit Studios, which was later known as Ranjit Movie Dome, and produced films in Hindi, Marathi, and Punjabi. Yours truly, ladies and gentlemen, has had the privilege of shooting some of my earlier 70s films in these studios. And here's another first. Saraswati Devi, born in a Parsi family, had to change her name from Khurshid Minocha Homiji to be able to work in the movie business. She was trained in Hindustani classical music under Pandit Vishnu Narayan Bachchan and took the industry by storm as a music composer in the 1930s. It's for several films, including the very popular Achut Kanya. The song she composed for Achut Kanya, with lyrics by Jamuna Swarup Kashyap and picturized on Devika Rani and Dada Muni, Ashok Kumar, as you know, Main Ban Ki Chidiya, Ban Ke Ban Ban Bolu, still evokes great nostalgia. She composed and recorded the first nationalist song of our country in the year 1936, at the height of the British Raj, Jai Janani Janamabhoomi. Recorded for the film Janamabhoomi, directed by, and here it is, a German filmmaker called Franz Osten. It turned out to be a big triumph among our freedom fighters. And later, and this is very important, a refrain from the song was utilized by the BBC as the signature tune for its Indian news service. Along with Saraswati Devi, there was Jatinbai, better known nowadays as the mother of our silver screen heroine, Nargis. In 1936, she established Sangeet Film Academy to produce and direct films, was a singer and an actor. She recorded ghazals with the Columbia Gramophone Company and rendered thumris and light classical music on radio stations, spending sufficient amount of time in Calcutta, training under Bhaiya Sahib Scindia of the Gwalior Gharana. Jatinbai's daughter, Nargis, was born here in a building on Indian Mirror Street off S.N. Banerjee Road, and introduced to films in Talash-e-Haq as a child artist. Released in 1935, Jatinbai played the lead in this film, and furthermore composed its musicals. So with sound firmly introduced to Indian cinema, playback singing saw an influx of musicians fluent in Urdu and Hindi enter the profession, cutting across rigid communal lines. These playback artists were our early pioneers who made it possible for Lata Mangeshkarji and others to later carry forward the art. The technique of playback singing opened up the influence of Tawaif culture in Hindi cinema that became a brand new grammar. For instance, you know the song Mohe Pandar Pe Nandal Chher Gaye is taken from the repertoire of UP's Tawaifs, originally sung as a Jai Mohan or a devotional bhajan chanted in praise of Lord Krishna's birth. It became an integral part of KS's magnum opus, Mughal Yasir. while Amitabh